Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Continuing with Sri Caitanya Caritamrta, Adi Lila, chapter 4, verse 183. Edeha darshana sparshe Krishna santoshana ei lagi kare dehera marjana bhushana. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Krishna finds joy in seeing and touching this body. It is for this reason that they cleanse and decorate their bodies. 184. Nijangam apiya gopyo mameti samupasate tabhya param nami partha nigurha prema bhajanam. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. O Arjuna, there are no greater receptacles of deep love for me than the gopis, who cleanse and decorate their bodies because they consider them mine. This verse is spoken by Lord Krishna in the Adi Puran. 185. Ara eka adbhuta gopi bhave rasva bhava budhira gochara nahe yahar prabhava. Translation. There is another wonderful feature of the emotion of the gopis. Its power is beyond the comprehension of the intelligence. Text 186. Gopi gana kare yabe Krishna darshana sukha vancha nahi sukha haya koti guna. Translation. When the gopis see Lord Krishna, they derive unbounded bliss, although they have no desire for such pleasure. 187. Gopika darshane Krishnera ye ananda hai taha haite koti guna gopi asvadaya. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. The gopis taste a pleasure 10 million times greater than the pleasure Lord Krishna derives from seeing them. Purport. The wonderful characteristics of the gopis are beyond imagination. They have no desire for personal satisfaction, yet when Krishna is happy by seeing them, that happiness of Krishna makes the gopis 1,000,000 times more happy than Krishna himself. Text 188. Tana sabara nahi nija sukha anurodha tathapi badhye sukha padila virodha. Translation. The gopis have no inclination for their own enjoyment, and yet their joy increases. That is indeed a contradiction. 189. Ebe rodhera eka matra deki samadhana gopikara sukha Krishna sukhe paryavasana. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. For this contradiction, I see only one solution. The joy of the gopis lies in the joy of their beloved Krishna. Purport. The situation of the gopis is perplexing, for although they did not want personal happiness, it was imposed upon them. The solution to this perplexity is that Sri Krishna's sense of happiness is limited by the happiness of the gopis. Devotees at Vrindavan therefore try to serve the gopis, namely Radharani and her associates. If one gains the favor of the gopis, he easily gains the favor of Krishna, because on the recommendation of the gopis, Krishna at once accepts the service of a devotee. Lord Chaitanya therefore wanted to please the gopis instead of Krishna, but his contemporaries misunderstood him, and for this reason Lord Chaitanya renounced the order of householder life and became a sannyasi. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So we are still continuing to hear about the gopis and their relationship with Krishna, and also their emotions and feelings for Krishna, their pure love for Krishna. And from these verses, we can see that gopis are using even their body in the service of Krishna. Everything. They considered that this body that we have belongs to Krishna. Just like Bhakti Vinod Thakur says, everything that I have, whether it's my family, children, my body, possessions, everything belongs to Krishna. So that state of consciousness can really help one to progress spiritually. So here, in the purport of the first verse we read, Srila Prabhupada says that the wife decorates her body for her husband. And I remember reading and hearing Srila Prabhupada say that when the husband is away, like say out of town or whatever, then the wife does not decorate herself. Why? Because the husband is not there, which means the wife decorates the body for the pleasure of her husband and not for anyone else. So here we see that the gopis, they are decorating their bodies because they want to give pleasure to Krishna. And the one other reason is they considered him to be their husband. They wanted him to be as their husband. So that is the reason they were decorating their bodies, and with the only focus in mind that I want to give pleasure to Krishna. Not that I want to look beautiful, not that I want to wear something fashionable or look, like Aishwarya Rai or whatever, I'm going to dress up, decorate, because I want to give pleasure to Krishna. That was their only motive. And the gopis, they considered that since they not only thought, they knew that the body belongs to Krishna, so they didn't want to use it for their personal sense gratification. How I want to enjoy my body, basically in this material world, people you want to use their eyes to see something beautiful, ears to hear something really nice, especially praises from others, oh, you're so wonderful, you do this, that, wonderful. So all that, but when it comes to Krishna consciousness, everything is dovetailed towards Krishna. Everything, whether it's my body, my family, my house, my car, everything should be used in the service of Krishna. So it mentions in verse 184 that because they had that consciousness that body belongs to Krishna, they cleansed it thoroughly. And this is very important. It may sound, take some Lux soap or Hammam soap and just clean your body. No, cleansing their body with the consciousness. So it made me think that, okay, when we wake up in the morning and go in the shower, let's have that consciousness that, okay, I'm cleansing my body, that is from outside, and I'm chanting attentively to cleanse from inside because I want to use this body in the service of Krishna. Just like I asked this question to Janardhan Maharaj, I think in one of these meetings that we have third Saturdays, no, I think afterwards I asked him, not in the meeting, I asked him that, is it necessary to wear devotee clothes when you do deity worship at home? What do you think his answer was?
Yes.
Yes. He said, so I inquired why. It's just a dress, right? You could be wearing Punjabi suit or sari or, whatever it may be, ghagra choli or whatever. Why? What is, not with a challenging mood, but to understand why. So he said that when we, after shower, when we wear Vaishnava attire and we put on tilak, then our mood and consciousness changes when we go for deity worship. And I thought that was so beautiful. And how does that come about? It comes about with the consciousness that I want to use my body in service of Krishna. This body belongs to him and I want to use it in his service. So cleansing of inside out is very, very important. I was very fortunate to meet Guru Maharaj at least 5 times, and I had a list of questions. So one of my questions was, how do I know if I'm progressing spiritually? Because it's not possible to, connect with you all the time. You're traveling or, it's hard. So he said, it's very simple. He said, as soon as you understand that you like to chant, you want to chant, you have that attachment to chanting and reading Srila Prabhupada's books. So there's no laziness in there. It's like, okay, this is something that I really want to do. Then you are progressing spiritually. So then immediately the mind thinks, oh, I need to work towards this, that where I don't have to say I have to chant, but I say I want to chant. So that is the difference in consciousness. So here we see the gopis' consciousness is that they want to cleanse inside out even though they are pure. See, at heart they are pure devotees, but still they are wanting to cleanse for the pleasure of Krishna. Srila Prabhupada says that punctuality and cleanliness very, very important in spiritual life. These two, very, very important, because that itself changes our consciousness. And then just like it is said that the kitchen is considered to be Radharani's kitchen, so it has to be spick and span. We need to, clean even the temple room. And it's said that the floor of the temple is Lord Balaram. So when we are cleaning, we are doing service to the Supreme Lord. So this is what he was talking about, cleansing in and out. In verse number 185, it says that the gopis' emotions was beyond comprehension. Srila Prabhupada says anything that's beyond our conception or comprehension, we should just follow authority. There's so many things we don't understand. At least I don't understand when I'm reading. I have to call my husband and we have to sit down and then he'll explain it to me because it's very complicated. Now it's simple, but it's not so easy to understand. So Prabhupada says that if we don't understand, then we should pray. Pray to the Lord, pray to the spiritual master to give us the intelligence, like in Bhagavad Gita, Tesham Satata Yuktanam Bhajatam Priti Purvakam. Krishna says, I'll give the intelligence. You worship me with love and devotion and I will give it to you. So we follow authority, and that is why parampara has been given to us. I was listening to Badri Narayan Maharaj in Mayapur, such a jovial lecture, full of humor. So he was saying that supposing we are glued to the seat, right? Like someone has put glue and I'm stuck now and I want to reach out and shake hands with all of you. Can I do that? I cannot do that. What is the only option? That you come to me and shake hands with me, right? That's the only way, because I'm stuck here. That is our position in this material world. We are stuck. But Krishna is sending the parampara to, give us that knowledge, shake hands. Oh, come, I'm ready to take you back to Godhead. So that was so beautiful. And Krishna knows that we do need guidance. On our own, it is not possible. You know how long does it take to prepare a lecture? Few hours. It's not just like that. It takes few hours because we have to think about it. What am I reading? What does it mean? If I don't understand, let me inquire from an advanced devotee. Many times I call a Balabhadra Prabhu, what is it? And then when they explain, they say, aha, this is what it means. So here, material education, very easy to get. I know it's not very easy to get, but, get these degrees and everything, like I was talking to your mother, your brother was saying your other brother is doing PhD. I'm like, wow, I haven't even finished high school and he's doing PhD. Material, it's a lot of work, right? But that is very easy to get. But spiritual education is not that easy. It's only when we have mercy of Guru and Krishna that we are able to get. Otherwise, because material education cannot give us liberation, it's only the spiritual education that can help us go back to Godhead. But in this material world, there's a lot of knowledge which I would say doesn't make sense or is not really useful as far as self-realization is concerned. All they teach you is when you grow up how to make money. Yes or no? What is the purpose of studying in school and college? So that you get a good job. So when you get a good job, you'll get a good wife, hopefully, and then you will get good children, hopefully, right? So this is the whole state of consciousness, that this is how material education is given. Oh, beta, if you don't study, then you won't have a job, then how will you marry? Right? Have you heard that before? For girls, it's not so much. It was not so much in my days, but now, of course, it is important because the boy wants the girl also to be earning money. Yes or no? Yes, most of them, right? So material education, Prabhupada says, is a lot of lies. A lie with something untruthful. It's a lie. Because it doesn't really give you what it's promised. And Badrinath Maharaj was saying that when a lie is spoken again and again, it's repeated, it appears to be true. Does that make sense? He gave a very nice story. He said that there were 4 sons were there, and the father, before he died, he gave the whole inheritance to the youngest one because he was the best of all the 4. Like, he was very honest, very simple, loving, caring. So everything went to the youngest one. So the other 3 were very upset. So they wanted to devise a plan how we can get this inheritance for ourselves. So they made a plan. And this youngest one used to go to the river, holy river, for a bath every morning. So they hid themselves in different locations on the way to the river. So as soon as this youngest one was going, he saw his eldest brother. He said, "Oh, Gopal." And Gopal said, "Oh, ghost, 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 bhoot, bhoot, bhoot." And he ran away. So this youngest one was thinking, I'm not a bhoot. I can still feel myself. I have a body. He said, maybe he's gone mad. So he started walking. And then he saw the second brother, who was Govinda. He also started screaming, "Bhoot, bhoot, bhoot, you become a ghost, you become a ghost." Now the youngest one started thinking, is it true? Have I become a ghost? Have I lost my body? What happened? So as he went, the third brother, he screamed, he said, "Bhoot, bhoot," and he ran away. Now the youngest one said, yes, I am a bhoot. I am a ghost. So he went to the river and drowned himself. And all the inheritance went to the 3 brothers. See how the mind works. Instead of using intelligence, no, I can feel my body. Let me go to someone else and confirm. Do I look like a bhoot? Do I have a body or not? But no, he got influenced by those lies. And to him, it sounded the truth. That is material education. So we have to be very, very careful. And, so if we somehow or the other take this pastime of the gopis with Krishna and meditate on it and think, what is the position of the gopis? Now, it is beyond our conception, but at least we can try. We can discuss with advanced devotees and try and understand what is the state of consciousness of the gopis. It's very simple. Complete surrender to Krishna. They had no other focus in life. They had no other goal in life. All they wanted to do was please Krishna, not themselves, but only give pleasure to Krishna. Now, once we give pleasure to Krishna, we automatically get pleasure. Have you heard that story of the king he announced that people can come over and take whatever they want. I'm ready to give them any gift they want. So some wanted, clothes, some jewelry, things like that. But there was one smart one. He came and he said, oh, I don't want any material thing from you. All I want is that I'll be very happy if you can come and stay in my little hut for 3 days. Just 3 days. That'll give me pleasure because then I'll get an opportunity to serve you. So king couldn't say no. So now his ministers, they said, now let's go and see where does he live. When they went and saw, they said, how can the king live in a hut? There is no bed, there's no food, there's no air conditioning, nothing. So the ministers, they build a big, huge house over there so that the king can come and stay with all the facilities, geyser, air conditioning, furniture, lots of food, maid servants, everything. And sure enough, the king came and he stayed for 3 days and he went. Do you think the ministers took the house also and went? No, everything was left behind for him. He got everything for free. So he was very smart. He asked for king and he got everything. So when we ask for Krishna, we get everything. Yeah. He will give everything to us. So if we can become more serious, I'm talking about myself, become more sincere and serious, then it is possible to progress spiritually. Now here it talks about gopis' emotions beyond comprehension. In verse 186, it says that when they see Krishna, they derive unbounded bliss. What's the meaning of unbounded? Has no bound, no boundaries. It's like unbounded. It's like unlimited bliss they get, even though they don't have a desire for that bliss. You see the difference? Gopis are not desiring to get bliss, but they are still getting bliss just by seeing Krishna. And Krishna seeing them, he gets bliss. What a nice exchange of pure love between the gopis and Krishna. So as soon as, it says, as soon as they see Krishna, unbounded bliss, it's unlimited. Just like Krishna's pastimes are unlimited, his forms are unlimited. Similarly, the bliss is also unlimited. I'll stop at 9:40 because we have 9:45 reading of India's glory. Yeah, India's glory is there. So in verse 187 says, Gopi's pleasure is greater than Krishna's. So just that thought that they are giving pleasure to Krishna, the Gopi's pleasure increases 10 million times. Just that thought. So it is all a state of consciousness. This is what my husband and I learned in the beginning, that you don't have to give up family. You don't have to give up your job or your house or your money, anything. Just change your consciousness. That's about it. Just this change of state of consciousness. So here we see Srila Prabhupada in the last purport that we read. No, not in verse number 187 purport. He says, characteristics of gopis is beyond imagination. That brings us to the point that we should not speculate. Oh, I think gopis like this. Oh, according, no. We should not speculate. We have to just accept the word of authority. In this chapter also, Srila Prabhupada is giving us purports so that we can understand the meaning of those verses, instead of trying to speculate that according to me, maybe this is how the gopis are feeling. No. So here we can see that it is practically impossible to imagine Gopi's love for Krishna, because very high level, very, very high level. Many times people ask, so what is the love between Radha and Krishna? I don't know, because it's a very high topic. It's not for discussion, publicly discussing about it. Only pure devotees can talk about it. So we cannot imagine, but at least we can learn from the pastimes of gopis that they did not want any personal sense gratification, that, oh, here is the Supreme Lord, he loves us, we love him, let me get some benefit out of him. No, they had no personal agenda at all. So then in verse number 188, it says they had no inclination for personal enjoyment, and still their joy was increasing. How come? It mentions in the purport that it sounds like a contradiction. But it's not a contradiction. Srila Prabhupada says in spiritual knowledge, there are no contradictions. It may appear to be a contradiction, but it is not a contradiction. So here, why? Because when the gopis are pleasing Krishna, they themselves are getting pleased. That is a byproduct. You see? So when we are performing devotional service, if it is with the right state of consciousness, then we also get that pleasure, which is not we are searching for it. It's not that today morning I'm going to do deity worship with the focus that, oh, I'm going to experience unbounded bliss. No. I'm just going because I want to perform service for Krishna. Then what is the state of consciousness? It's up to Krishna. So based on our desire, based on our endeavors, Krishna will reciprocate. The last verse for today was 189, where the solution to contradiction was given, that the joy of the gopis lies in the joy of Krishna. So if Krishna is joyful, the gopis are automatically joyful. Let's say when our child is happy, parents are happy automatically, right? It's not that they have to be shot an injection that, oh, children are happy, now you also be happy. No, it's natural. Very, very natural. So similarly, when Krishna is pleased, the gopis are automatically pleased. So Prabhupada says that the gopis are not asking for that pleasure. They are not asking for this happiness, but it is being imposed upon them. Isn't that wonderful? That, okay, I don't want happiness, but Krishna is imposing happiness onto me. But that's a wonderful thing. See, look at the state of consciousness of the gopis. They don't want any pleasure. They only want to give pleasure. So they are getting happiness without even seeking for it. So if one gains the, Prabhupada says, if one gains the favor of Radharani, then Krishna is pleased. When one gains the favor of gopis, Krishna is pleased. When one gains the favor of spiritual master, Krishna is pleased. What does Srila Prabhupada say? I have the key to the back door of the spiritual world. Front, we may not be allowed to enter. You know, chupa chupa ke, you know, if you want to sneak someone inside, you say, come to the back door, and then I will open, and then you sneak in, right? It becomes easy. Srila Prabhupada says, I have the key to the back door of the spiritual world. All we need to do is to have that desire to go back to Godhead. So when the gopis will recommend us, Prabhupada says, Krishna will at once accept such a devotee. So it's a very, very simple process. Srila Prabhupada has given us Krishna consciousness. He's given us everything. He's given us books, festivals, temples, deities, devotees, prasadam, everything. All we have to do is just take it and use it. That's about it. So we'll end here at verse number 189. If anyone has any questions.